This is
The Handbag Husband.
the Handbag Husband.
International.
Yay, international. Today we are here at the Pitti Castle, which is a very kind of not well-known museum here in Firenze, but I think it's sort of becoming one of my favorites after going through. It's like laid back and not as crazy as the Uffizi. But today what we want to talk a little bit about is going to be the reviews of the Hermes Firenze, as well as the reviews for the Hermes in Rome, the 0-star reviews, because there are lots of good reviews, and in general, most of our experiences have been pretty great. Right? But there are some folks who have, let's call it, some grievances. And today we're going to talk about those 0-star reviews and talk about how that matches up with our experiences and whether we think they are, you know, if they're appropriate or not. Now, before we get to it, if you like these videos, if you like the Hermes conversation, if you like the Hermes milieu, and if you like the bag candy, and I will tell you, we always try to get the most bag candy for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because it does really help the channel grow. And of course, we are so thankful for that.
Grazie mille.
Grazie mille. But also because it means you get notified when our newest long videos come out, when our newest short videos come out, and all the stuff we have on the socials on Instagram and YouTube, because we have new Hermes content coming out every single week. All right, let's get down to some of those 0-star reviews. All right, so let's start off with the first one for Florence. So we're gonna do the first ones of Florence, and then we'll do Rome afterwards. And so the first one from Florence says, 4 groups of customers left, but I was waiting outside. What is the point? The outlet in Rome is much better, much more active essays there.
There are more SA in Rome for sure, 100%.
For sure.
I do understand about wait time because the boutique is pretty small.
Well, I think the thing is that this person's saying that there are 4 groups of people came out, but the thing is that they let people in, but it doesn't. It's not first in, first out, and also these might be folks who had previous appointments, and also sometimes they're just like random people. They let them walk around, right?
Sure.
So it's not like, oh, this person's ahead of you. It's like they were just coming to look at something, or they had to drop off something, or they had to pick up something, and then they bail.
Sure, understand that. Yeah.
So I don't think, I'm not saying this person's wrong, but I don't think they can equate. You can't do the math. You can't do the math and be like 4 people out, not enough people in.
Yeah, correct. It's not like, oh, it's the restaurant's people out and you can go in almost right away after they clear the table.
Yeah.
SA sometimes they need to go restock, do other jobs.
Yeah. Have an espresso.
Sure. Like whatever they need to do, and then maybe, you know, make sure the flow of the service, the flow of the store is okay, up to standard or whatever.
I think one of the interesting aspects of this one is that in our experience, the essays that we've gotten in Rome actually tend to be much newer and much less experienced than what we get in Florence. So this one's like, oh, they have much more active essays, and maybe they do, and maybe for the top tier clients they do.
Right, and push it too.
Yeah, but ours are really, we usually hit like pretty new people to it. When we talk like, hey, how long have you been here?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I've been here for like a year, or I've been here for, 7 months or 2 years, I think is the most we've gotten there. So I think that the Rome boutique might be more active in the sense that they're getting people, they're churning people in and out.
Sure.
But we find that the essays that we're interacting with when we just walk in and get chosen at random tend to be the lowest experienced ones, and obviously have the least amount of sway.
Like came out from a runner.
Yeah.
Like that's
Or they came from another luxury good, whatever.
Brand, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that maybe they are more active, but they're not. Again, our experience is that we get more experience.
And again, maybe just a bad day. SA is always busy, you know.
Yeah. I can only imagine what the day is being an SA. Yeah, it's gotta be crazy. So, yeah, you can't do the math, and maybe it is more active, but at least for me, I think the Florence you get a higher tier SA on average, just at random, than you get in Rome.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Next one says, most disgusting Hermes store! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Read the reviews before visiting, but decided to come anyways. They are huge problems with staff here. It's simply impossible to get into the store. We stood in the line for 2 hours.
That's long.
That is a long time.
I think the most that we waited maybe half an hour.
Yeah, we often usually show up relatively early because we don't want to wait any long. And yes, we have to wait ahead of time, usually 30 minutes, 45 minutes. But I think one of the common complaints is the wait time, and I think there is something to that.
For sure.
Every time we walk by, we always see people waiting out there, and it almost
This is and if you compare to Rome,
yes, very much so.
because like I said, like we were saying, the ratio of the SA,
Yeah.
they have way
Or
more.
even Milan, right? Milan's pretty fast so
Oh,
far.
yeah.
They get you in and out.
In and out,
Yeah,
quick,
in and out.
yeah.
So I think there's something to that, and I almost think that maybe it's by design at this point. I feel like Florence is using the wait mechanism as a methodology to detour some people. Or they don't have an interest in fixing it, I should say.
Yeah. I think that's probably a better.
So I definitely get that frustration, but also you can make an appointment, right? You can make an appointment. So I don't know.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
I mean, people have appointments.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, I guess the way I would look at it is the first time you ever go to Florence, maybe you gotta wait for 2 hours. But the second time you go, make an appointment, right? Talk to someone and make an appointment.
Or go, I think if you go 15 minutes before it opens, then you're probably going to wait maybe it's like
less
30
time.
minutes. Yeah,
Yeah.
less for sure. Yeah.
But I do think that Florence does have an inordinate amount of wait time on it in comparison to the other boutiques here in Italy and pretty much anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've never waited longer than in Florence, right?
Trying to think, because, yeah, true.
But I think the other side of this, and this is my side of this, is that there is never a better time to have 45 minutes of space rent free to sit around and just do nothing. Right? You can check your Instagram, you can check your YouTube, read some newspapers. How often, I don't know if about you all, but how often do we have a moment where we have 45 minutes just to be like,
No, sometimes it can be rough because
oh,
if
you have
you
reservations and stuff?
no,
Oh.
if you go there during like the winter,
Yeah.
sorry, winter is fine, but summer, it's hot.
It's hot. It's quite hot.
out
Yeah.
there. I know sometimes
yeah.
they give out water, sometimes
Yeah.
they hand out like the umbrella, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
still really warm.
Yeah.
So I understand the frustration.
Yeah. Maybe it's just me because I love like waiting for the airplane, like getting me anywhere. This is their problem now.
Yeah.
I have no more problems. I just hang out here and wait till the airplane
Yeah,
opens
my
up.
advice, just go there first thing. It's almost like,
Yeah.
most of the tourists will go to attractions in the morning. It's the same. Treat
Oh,
MS
yeah.
as another
Yeah.
attraction.
Yeah.
So you want to hit the museum first
You're
thing in
my
the morning.
attraction.
And then, so go to MS the first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Reduce the wait
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
But again, if it's more than your first visit, then you don't really have an excuse just to make an appointment. Or if you don't make an appointment, that's okay, but you're accepting, you know what you're getting in for with the wait.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Next one. I have a purchase history with Hermes, but this location in Florence was the worst experience. We waited 20 minutes in the waiting room and walked around for 10 minutes. No one approached me once, just stared at me. I wanted to make a quick purchase and move on. I just walked out. Disappointed, turned off from purchasing here again.
We've been there.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you get into the store doesn't mean like the SA will come and assist you right away.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll just sit, like they're just like, hey, just wait here. The SA will come.
I actually think it's nice that sometimes they let you just walk in and hang out.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you don't have an appointment, maybe you don't have an SA, they do still let people like just kind of come in and
Bag
take
candy.
a look and see. Oh, yes, look at the bag candy for us.
Yeah.
But they do let people just kind of come in and take a look at all the things that are there. And I think there's a nice side to that because you can just kind of come in and see what's there, and maybe they don't have anything you're looking for, and you can bounce. Right?
Sure.
You don't need to go through all the rigmarole of like introducing yourself and sitting down and having a coffee. You don't need to go through all that because they just let you in and let you out. I mean, of course, you and I have always talked about it. Like, what the heck do they do for that, like, for the long periods of time? We're just left, like, hanging out in the waiting rooms.
Yeah.
I definitely do wonder what they're doing. And again, it's almost to the point where, again, I think it's part of their strategy to, like, mess with our minds or something. But it's really probably they have, like, lots of technical stuff on the inside they're doing and whatever. But I think the other thing to consider on this is being put off by it. I don't know. I mean, I think
Is it not like a common? Like I thought it's very common.
Yeah.
Maybe I guess Topanga. If we compare that to Topanga, we never have to wait in line. But
Well,
obviously we have
you
to,
never had to wait in line.
obviously you
I had
have
to wait in line.
No, that was a Grand Holiday doesn't count.
Yeah.
My point is like, yes, there's no line, but sometimes you have to go in and wait for your SA.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I kind of understand that like.
I mean, I guess the nice thing about the boutiques is they are comfortable, right? Sure, there's no Wi-Fi. Okay, fine. But they are comfortable. The chairs are comfy. You can get a nice cup of coffee.
That's not true. There's not enough seating.
No, there's not enough
If you
seating.
go there during the day and then everyone's waiting,
Yeah.
it's not enough seating.
You get to Google the bags, which is nice too. So I don't know. I think it kind of falls back to what my grandmother said: is that only boring people get bored.
That's me.
Yeah. And so, walking around, having free time, unchaperoned around Hermes, I kind of like it too. So.
Sometimes people don't like it.
Sure, I get it. I'm not saying that they don't.
Like, I think that like sometimes going to the Hermes store feels, to me, like it's intimidating.
Has the wait ever put you off from doing Hermes though?
Well, no, I don't care about weight. I am okay with weight, but like it's almost like okay, expectation, right? I know that if I have to wait, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. If this is a restaurant I really want to eat, 1 hour, 2 hours. If I want to eat, I'll wait 2
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
So, but that's already calculated into when I plan for the trip.
Yeah.
If I know that okay, today I'm going to have my store, then I don't put anything else during the day.
Yeah, that's within really that close to time frame.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of expectation and pre-plan. So yeah.
I mean, I guess how do you think the time relates to the Hermes experience, right? Do the wait times be like, oh, is a deterrence from Hermes? Because for me, it doesn't really. I mean, again, I got my phone. I'll do whatever I can.
Even though there's no Wi-Fi.
No, there's no Wi-Fi, but it doesn't deter me. I almost, again, I kind of sort of almost enjoy it as like a little mini leisure time, but I can understand if you want to get in and get out because we like that too.
Yeah.
And you got things to do, or you got a train come in.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
always about to rain.
Yeah.
I understand all that side of it too.
No, I do understand that some people they kind of like they've filled up their itinerary.
Yes.
Really, really packed.
Yeah.
I
like
don't.
the tolerances are too short.
Correct. And I was like, okay, like we gotta go. And then if MS already taking 2 hours of your just to go in.
Yeah. And then you don't get a bag.
And don't get it back, then I understand the frustration.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Then maybe Florence store is not for you. No.
Yeah. No, that's yeah.
Maybe this
yeah.
is
yeah.
not the store that you
Yeah.
want.
Go
Maybe
to
go to
Milan.
Rome.
Go to Rome. Yeah.
Go to a bigger store that has more.
It's more
amount, the ratio
churn and
of
burn,
SA.
yeah.
Yes. It's not trying to burn. It's just more of the like people can assist you
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah.
Get you in and out. I think that might be a better solution. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Another one, and this is a problem that seems to be very persistent, and I don't think it's an Hermes problem.
The water.
I went to the Hermes boutique at 6:45
No,
p.m.,
no,
but
no,
upon
you don't do
entering,
that,
I was told
no.
the shop is already closed. This should not happen if there are set times. Otherwise, an appointment system should be set up. I understand that Hermes doesn't need reviews, but I think that the management of this boutique is not up to the mark of the brand.
No, this is like, no, this is not, this is, I don't know, this is,
Because we have people that, we came at 7:30 on Christmas Eve.
No,
the other guy.
You fly, you know the flight, they would say the gate closed before
Yeah.
the plane departs
Yeah.
15 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes, right? The same thing. Or NFL, you play football.
Yeah.
They have 2 minutes warning.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
you don't go.
Hermes is not Costco. You don't want to slide under the door at the last second and
Yes.
grab your hat,
Yes.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that Hermes obviously doesn't want you to do that because it ruins the experience,
Yes.
right? They have a design for the experience
It's
they want
only
to give you.
taking 15 minutes to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
go find like one keychain, maybe,
Yeah.
So there's no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's assume, I mean, our average visits are between an hour and 4 hours, depending on how long it is.
No, normally it's about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Including like pay and like
Yeah.
wrapping. Sometimes like,
Yeah.
no, don't have to wrap. Let's go.
Let's go. I got my suitcase. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Sometimes we're just like,
We got stuff to do. You
Yeah.
got something to do. I got something to do.
Yeah.
No one needs all this malarkey.
yes.
But I also think that there's also a consideration for overhead. I mean, I don't know what overtime pay is here. I don't know if like someone gets like
Triple?
lashed in Europe for overtiming people. I know it's frowned upon. Yeah, triple, double, whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can see how if it's a 2-hour visit, you come in at 6:30 and they close technically at 7 o'clock. That's going to cut into their closing duties they have to do,
Yes,
fold whatever they have
yes.
to do, restock, all that kind of stuff. So I also think that it's an experiential difference. For us, again, it's not that big of a deal because we like quick interactions once we've established a relationship.
Yes.
But I think Hermes overall established this kind of long thing because they do want to know their clientele.
Yeah.
And I actually think moreover, they want to be able to categorize you in the list of clientele that they have so they can figure out kind of what they want to offer you and what level you are. And they don't want to, and one of the ways they can kind of,
I don't think it applies to everything.
no,
I think you're referring to bags.
yes,
If you go in just to buy toiletries or
Yeah.
like perfumes, shoes, then I don't think that's apply.
yeah. But I think if they can set up these kind of slowdowns, these speed bumps to the process, I think it will deter some of like the resellers. It'll deter some of the people who are maybe just, they're looking to buy a bag and sell it as much as possible, or, they're not going to be great customers for Hermes overall. They just want one and done. They'll get their one bag and then never come back.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Like we
Hermes
did in Tokyo.
Yeah, hey, I've been there, right?
Watch the video. I
Yeah,
watched
it
the-
totally makes sense that they slow things down and they want to make sure the experience is as good as possible. And
Sure.
despite what we see on the 0-star reviews, the experience overall has always been good for us. Only a very few times have we had
Again,
bad
I
experiences.
think it's just more of like, does the experience meet the expectation?
Yeah,
What are
Yeah.
our expectations
Yeah.
of the hospitality, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, in many ways it is a kind of weird mixture of a goods, services, and hospitality industry all put together.
Correct.
Yeah. So those are the 0 stars from Florence. Let's move on to the 0 stars from Roma. Which way?
That way.
I guess we'll see. There's gonna be a moped. Hey!
Tomorrow, we're gonna visit Hermes store. How are we feeling?
100% positive. We're definitely 100% gonna get something.
Get kicked out.
Put it out there, put it out there, put it out there, put it out there. Or get kicked out, whichever goes first. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the 0 stars from Roma. First one up says, to a runaway, terrible saleswoman who didn't care about us, we asked for a glass of water, which never arrived. She doesn't take customers seriously, especially when you're young. Being used to buy from Hermes, this is a big disappointment from a big house. Don't go there. And this one was originally in French.
I feel like if I were French, I would buy Hermes in France.
I think so.
I
think
feel
there's-
like you will get a better chance of
yeah, there's definitely
getting-
a better chance. I mean, I guess the young side, I don't know. We've never
We're
been
not young.
right? And doing Hermes.
Sure.
I think that there probably is some, I don't know if stereotypes is right, but there's some factoring in to the essays when they have someone who is young,
Sure.
and maybe fair or not fair, but I think it probably does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess I didn't feel that way with the boutique, because we just went to the Rome boutique today. I didn't feel really any of that kind of stuff with it, although RSA was quite inexperienced. So
Yes.
I think that's a possibility. I know a lot of the times, if you're just a walk-in at the Rome boutique,
I feel like she was inexperienced, but knowledge enough.
yeah, she knew enough stuff.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think if you are just kind of a random walk-in at the Hermes Rome boutique,
Sure.
I think that you oftentimes will get a lot of the super new kind of greenhorn
Sure.
individuals. So
Yeah.
that can also be it, right? This person could be interpreting it as them being frowned upon because they're young versus maybe just the inexperience of the essay.
Yeah. Oh, and we got offered coffee.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Unprovoked.
we didn't ask for any drink. We
Yeah.
did not expect any drink because we were like, want to go in and out.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
just get in here and get out of here. But I think a lot of times these experiences, people have. I don't think that they're not real. They're not the ones that ever seem to match up with ours, except for with Hermes. All right, next one up says bad customer service. Waited 1 hour plus for the staff to tell you there is nothing you want they can offer.
Well, we kind of in there for an hour and a half and also didn't get anything back either.
Well,
Does that count? I mean, is it the same kind of?
well, I guess a lot of this is going to come down to when you end up going to the boutique. Because for us, we tend to go as early
I
as
think in this
possible?
case, I think, oh, I guess you can take it two-way, right? Two ways. Is the person waiting outside for an hour or waiting inside for an hour?
I mean, there's definitely a distinction.
Correct.
There's
My
definitely a
point is
big
like,
difference.
you could have been waiting inside for an hour
Yeah,
and still no bag or still whatever items that you're looking for.
yeah.
Yeah. Inside makes sense. Outside, go early. Like if you go
Yeah,
early.
I think if it's a wait outside and you don't have an appointment and it's an hour, or that's going to be a function of when you're going to the boutique.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're going at peak time, when you go when everyone else is going,
Yeah.
in the middle of the day,
Weekends.
weekends, on a holiday.
Yeah,
Right. That
definitely.
during the holidays, for example.
Yeah.
I think that you are going to really end up having to wait. That's just, and you don't have an appointment. You don't have any pre-arranged arrangements. You're gonna have to wait. But for us, we typically try to go at the very beginning of the day.
So
for
we
us-
know. So we know at least. Okay, we're gonna be waiting for 30
Yeah.
minutes, and then that's it.
Yes.
30
Yeah.
minutes in this case
Yeah.
means 30 minutes before the store opens.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even when we got inside the store, I mean, an hour wait seems about right. I don't know what they're doing in their little back rooms over there, but it seems to take a long time. But I think for us, the reason thing is that because we prioritize Hermes in the day, right? I understand you might have other things going on. You might have kids. You got to go see the Pantheon. You got to go to restaurants. You have other things going on, so you have to kind of go when you can go in between those things. But for us, we prioritize Hermes, so it kind of is the centerpiece of the schedule for the day, and then the rest kind of works around it. So we can choose really the ideal times to cut down on that wait time, and usually it works. Usually it works.
One note on that, I think there's hotel right next door to this one. I saw some like concierge coming out.
Oh,
I think.
yeah,
That's why there's a car stop
yeah.
and like drop people off.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah. That's I think there's a hotel right next door. So if you are lazy, not lazy, but like don't want to like wake up too early, wait in line, walk really long, just stay there.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just go outside.
Yeah.
Go take a look. Go back
Uh-huh.
inside.
Yeah.
You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
All right, here we go. The next one says worst experience ever. After 40 minutes of wait inside the store.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Not in line, but inside. It
Okay.
puts in parentheses. Not in line, inside. We just gave up and left. I thought it was due to the limited number of employees, but actually people who entered me after me were being served first. So it was pure undeserved arrogance instead.
I guess this one I'm not sure because normally when you walk in, they will pair you with an essay
Yeah.
right away, right? And
Yeah.
then the essay was like, okay, wait here. Let me go
Yeah.
like find whatever items
Yeah.
or. So I don't know. 40 minutes. What do you think?
I mean, first of all, I would encourage all you folks out there, if you feel like leaving and you happen to be in line in front of us, I'm okay with that. Go ahead, right? I mean, the wait is the wait, right? I think there is going to be a wait. And again, I don't know exactly what the reason is. I don't know if it's the Hermes procedures for checking the objects you have, especially because, like for us, we come in, we say, hey, here's kind of the criteria of the objects that we're looking for. Maybe the SAs have kind of a back office way of trying to figure out what goes where, what they have to offer, or what's
Sure.
coming in.
Because
And-
some items can be checked through the phone
yes,
right away.
Yes.
And some items they just need
Yeah.
to go wheeling and dealing. I don't
Yeah.
know what they do, wheeling and
I
dealing.
mean, for us, especially because of the specificity that we're looking for, a lot of the items they have to go back and like manually search it somehow.
Sure.
Which I think takes up the time for that. As far as people getting helped in front of you, I mean, comparison is the death of happiness, right? Like,
Correct.
I don't think it's, who cares, right? Yes, it may feel like you're being slighted a bit, but oftentimes there's people who have appointments. It's oftentimes people who are VIP status.
Sure.
And I mean, Hermes is a business. They should treat everyone fairly and equally, and I think they do to the best part. But they prioritize their top clients. And as people who are not top clients, and we see the people walking by, I don't know. I think there's bigger concerns that you can have than is this person being served ahead of you. Now, if you feel like you're being snubbed, that's a different story. And
Sure.
again, that could definitely happen, right? But
Yeah, that's fair. Like,
It happens often, more often than none.
yeah, and again, for us, the only time it really seemed maybe plausible was at that one boutique
At
in the
Harrods.
UK. No,
Yeah.
I did that.
Really?
Wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time.
All right, here we go. For one more for Rome, it says, I visited several Hermes stores worldwide.
Me too.
Oh, yay, Hermes Cafe, another Hermes Cafe. But this was by far the worst experience. The staff treated us with disrespect, checking our passports as if we were criminals. While I understood the store can get busy and water might be forgotten, her attitude was unacceptable. I felt more like an interrogation at an airport customs than a visit to a luxury shop. Unfortunately, this individual's behavior has significantly tarnished the prestige reputation I once associated with Hermes.
Okay.
It's a weird situation.
I guess one thing stood out about the passport thing.
Yeah.
She also asked you for your passport.
Oh, you know what? That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To check the account.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously they know that we are not local. We are tourists, 100%.
I'm local. I'm a
And when you say,
local
"Oh, I have an
guy."
account," she say, "Oh, can I get your passport to check, to like pull
Yeah.
up your account?"
Yeah.
Again, normally you don't need a passport.
They put the passport number in too. They didn't put my name in.
Correct.
Yeah.
So last time they just asked for email.
Yeah.
So that's very common. Normally, just you can pull it up from your email.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why this time they asked for passport, but yeah, that's how they pull up the account.
Maybe that's their new protocols.
I don't really have an issue with it.
Or maybe if that it sort of makes sense if they're trying to track all European purchases.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, I didn't feel like it was interrogations
yeah.
or anything.
It's like, show me your papers.
Because I mean, every time if you're gonna buy something, you can have to show the passport
Yes.
anyways, and they
Yeah.
have our like passport information.
I mean, I guess if I didn't know Hermes as well as I did, the experience and the process,
Sure.
I guess I would still feel a little uncomfortable. Like that's more of a commitment
Sure,
that I would have
sure,
had to wanted to make at the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
If there was a purchase made, then okay, fine. These
Yeah.
are kind of implied
Yeah.
consents for these things.
I can see that.
But if it's the first thing they show up and you're like, show me your papers, you know, I can see why someone would feel that way. Maybe the disrespect would also be like, look, these folks are like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And I think Hermes should have a way around that. But if this SA wasn't trained in a way that allowed for them to circumvent this part of it,
Yeah.
then I could see how they would it'd be easy
Could
to
be
feel
like
them
too
rude.
aggressive.
Yeah.
To like, hey, I need.
Like,
you-
no, I need
Yeah.
to see your papers.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I don't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
like, well, then I have nothing for you, kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
I can see
yeah,
how that
yeah.
conversation will go. So I see both sides of it.
Sure.
I think that might be a training issue, maybe.
yeah.
Again, like I said, Rome. Every time we've gone to Rome, as just a random walk-in, we get newbies. We get the noobs. And so I always give them a little bit more grain of salt than when we go to other boutiques.
Sure.
For example, Milan or Florence. I mean, Florence, of course, we have established relationships, so you know it's a different story. But
We'll
even-
see. We'll see. We haven't been there yet.
haven't been
We'll
there
see.
yet. But Milan, I think that the essay we had was young, but not fresh off the boat. They
Yeah.
seem like they had a little bit more time in,
Sure.
and maybe that's because in Milan you start as a runner and then maybe even like a waiter or something, and then work your way up into the leather department or those kinds of ones.
Yeah.
But I also imagine, I bet you, do you think the random thought, do you think the leather department is where they put all the new people because it's like the least desirable department to be in to start off in?
I don't think so. I think that everyone needs to know about the bags. But,
Yes,
And then pick another like
that makes
specialty,
sense.
like bag plus something.
Yeah, because I mean Hermes is built off the bags. Everything else is basically
I guess
secondary.
Not bag, it's leather.
Yes, the leather goods.
Leather
Everything
goods.
else is basically secondary. So of
Yeah.
course you would start there and then kind of blossom out to
Yeah.
wherever else you want to go.
Yeah.
Because they might be in a situation where they need to pull anyone from everywhere to come to the leather department as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I could see how this one would come up. I could see how someone would feel uncomfortable with it if they didn't know Hermes or they were unwilling or they were unfamiliar or didn't want to provide that much information and
Yeah.
commitment, especially in the world that we live in now. Before, but I mean, you got to pay to play. I don't know. That's the rules, and they have a monopoly on Hermes stuff. So, you know, I think.
Oh, but the lady was like, oh, like if you don't have it, that was fine too. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Something. I don't. It was early in the
Maybe
day.
next time, maybe one of the other boutiques, if they ask for it, will be like,
Yeah,
oh,
we'll see.
you know, I don't feel comfortable. Let's
No,
see what
just
the
say
other
like,
ways to do
just
this.
be like, hey, it's in a hotel room.
Oh yeah.
Just be like,
That's a much
hey,
smarter
I don't
one.
have any
Yeah.
information. Like it's not with me
That's a
right
good
now.
bypass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say those, because not everyone expect you to carry a passport with you all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So, and again, they should be able to pull your information just from email address. Yeah. Let's give everyone a clue of where we are going to next year.
Ooh, next year?
Yes.
Clue.
Right behind you. The biggest clue.
Oh. Can you guess? Put it down below. All right, so that is the 0-star reviews for both Florence and Roma. And I'd really be interested to see what you think. Do you think that some of these grievances are correct and fair? Do they match up with your experiences? Because in some cases they do for us, some cases they don't. In some cases I can see why they do. I'd be curious what you think. Or if you've been to these boutiques, have you had that kind of experience? Or is it typically good? Is it typically bad? I'd love to hear that if you want to put that down in the comments. So with that, if you like this video, if you like the Hermes conversation, if you like the Hermes milieu, and if you like the bag candy, and you know we're always going to try to bring you some great bag candy from our Hermescapades, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because it does really help our channel grow, and of course we are so thankful for that.
Grazie mille.
Grazie mille. But also because it means you get notified when our newest long videos come out, when our newest short videos come out, and all the stuff we have on the socials, on Instagram and YouTube, because we have new Hermes content coming out every single week. So from a beautiful, quiet little alley here in Roma, ciao.